Hello everyone, welcome to my law station. Today we shall discuss the Land Acquisition Act, a very thoughtfully designed code balancing public trust, welfare, and infrastructure development. Let's get started. Introduction. The right to fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act 2013. Before we move forward with discussing the key provisions of the Act, understanding eminent domain becomes essential. Let's move on with the definition and also how and where it originated. The concept of eminent domain originated in ancient Rome, where it was known as eminent domain or dominium eminence. It later evolved in various legal systems, including English common law, before being adopted into legal systems of many countries, including the United States and India. Eminent domain. In India, eminent domain is the government's power to acquire private land for public projects, governed by laws like the Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition Act 2013. Landowners must be compensated fairly, and the process must adhere to legal procedures to ensure transparency and fairness. Let's get started. Let's discuss few key provisions. The purpose and scope of the Act. The Land Acquisition Act aims to ensure fair compensation, transparency, and accountability in land acquisition, and to provide adequate rehabilitation and resettlement to those affected by such acquisitions. It applies to land acquisition for public purposes by the government as well as by the private entities for public-private partnership projects. Let's understand one of the most crucial point, that is consent and social impact assessment. The Act mandates that consent be obtained from a majority of affected families for land acquisition for public-private partnership projects and from 80% of affected families for private projects. It also requires the conduct of a social impact assessment to assess the potential social and economic impacts of the acquisition. Let us also understand compensation and rehabilitation. The Act provides for payment of compensation at least 4 times the market value in rural areas and twice the market value in urban areas. Additionally, it mandates rehabilitation and resettlement packages for affected families, including land for land compensation, housing assistance, and livelihood rehabilitation. Infrastructure and exemptions. The Act includes provisions to expedite the acquisition process for projects deemed essential for national security or defense purposes, infrastructure projects and housing projects for the poor. However, it requires the consent of affected families and compliance with rehabilitation and resettlement provisions even for these exempted categories. To ensure fairness and transparency, there is also a provision, that is grievance redressal. The Act establishes authorities at the district, state, and national levels to address grievances related to land acquisition, compensation, and rehabilitation. It provides for the establishment of land acquisition, rehabilitation, and resettlement authority at the district level and the land acquisition, rehabilitation, and resettlement authority at the state level. Another key provision is dispute resolution. The Act provides for the settlement of disputes related to land acquisition, compensation, and rehabilitation through mechanisms such as arbitration, mediation, and adjudication by LARRCs and the National Green Tribunal. Transparency and accountability. The Act emphasizes transparency and accountability in the land acquisition process by mandating the publication of acquisition details, including the purpose, extent, and compensation details, on the district collector's website. Though the Act is comprehensive and focus driven to protect public interest, it is not immune to bureaucratic red tape. So, amendments and challenges. Since its enactment, the Land Acquisition Act has undergone amendments to address various issues and concerns raised by the stakeholders. However, its implementation has faced challenges related to delays, inadequate compensation, and procedural complexities. As we all know, fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution of India represents constitutional guarantees of essential freedoms and protections for individuals, so ensuring justice, liberty, and equality under the law. They serve as safeguards against arbitrary state action and discrimination. So in summary, Land Acquisition Act also is designed in a way to protect and safeguard individual interest as a priority, representing a significant step towards ensuring fair compensation, transparency, and rehabilitation for those affected by land acquisition, while also balancing the needs of development and public welfare. So, hereby I conclude this lecture. All of my law station content is simplified in a manner to reach law students, legal practitioners, and curious minds. Thank you for visiting my law station.